Hey guys, Desolator Magic back with another great video, and this is a very special video because we're going to do some good for the community as a whole. You know how all over YouTube there's all these like extreme makeover ripoffs where people are like, helping out the homeless and like giving people free haircuts and like free clothes and stuff, and it's all feel good and warm and fuzzy and all that? Well, we're going to do that except for MTG because this is an MTG channel. Now, I know all the major characters from the MTG storylines like to look their best for the one and only shot they get to show up on their own card. It's kind of like getting your picture taken at the DMV. You get one shot at it and you better look perfect. Unfortunately, a lot of them really didn't pull it off. Now, I'm no fashion expert, I'm no makeup expert, but I am a Photoshop expert, so I thought I'd help these guys out with just a little bit of a makeover, I guess you could say. First up, we've got Colley, the traitor of Get. Now, I didn't really follow the storyline that closely, but I assume if he's a traitor, and now they have labeled him as such, he's been found out and he is now looking for a job. He's now looking for a job looking like that. You just can't go shirtless, covered in purple blood with some creepy helmet on, weird shoulders going on, and like your arms out with this like semi-split cape thing. It's a mess. It's just not working out. So we're going to try to help out my vampire brother here and get him looking presentable to go to a job interview. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the whole story is with that bone helmet, if he's just like wearing that or if that's on like semi-permanently or totally permanently or if it's a religious thing. So I just figured I'm going to work with what we got. So I went down to the local craft store and picked him up some googly eyes. Now, if you really don't focus or you kind of squint a little bit, it kind of looks normal, maybe from a distance. So hopefully at the interview he'll be sitting really far away from the boss. Next up, you just can't not have hair. You can't be bald and expect to get a good job. You have to bring the hair to the interview. So I picked Colley up, a beautiful toupee, and honestly, once that's on, can you tell the difference? I mean, it really doesn't look fake to me. I think it looks fantastic. Now, next up, the most important thing that you've got to go to is the shirt. So, since he's not wearing one at all, that was quite a bit of flexibility and freedom. So, I picked him up, what's really happening today in the style world as far as I saw, which is a purple dress shirt. I mean, just look at that. Absolutely stunning with the eyes and the hair. Next up, to polish off the whole look, because this is a job interview he's going for, I added a beautiful stylish red tie. Now, some people question the choice of a red tie and a purple shirt, but once you look at it, it really does sort of flow. I think all things considered, we've got an absolute masterpiece here. I mean, just look into those googly eyes and tell me that you wouldn't hire this guy to write up your new boat loan. I absolutely would. I could totally see it. Definitely a massive success on this one. Next up, I thought we'd help out one of my favorite characters because her card is so unbelievably powerful. It's Eiley, the Eternal Pilgrim. Yes, that is how you pronounce it. Wizards confirmed it. It's Eiley. Now, she looks alright in what she's wearing. It's a little plain, but I just can't get over the fact that she looks like that character from Farscape. Side by side, I can barely tell them apart. And you can't have Eiley walking around town and people saying, oh, she's doing that look. She's copying that celebrity. So I think it's time for a makeover. Now, the first place we gotta go is the whole white on white on white on white on white. I mean, it's just a little much. It's a little too matchy-matchy. So, first of all, let's brighten things up with a little red lipstick. I mean, that alone is such a huge improvement, you just can't deny it. Next up, those blazing white cheeks could use just a little bit of blush. You add that, and she looks a little bit like a mime, but there's more to come. What really stood out to me the most after that was the white hair. I mean, it's just too much with the white shoulders and the white pretty much everything. So I thought, well, with hair like that, you just got to slip a wig over it. We didn't have time to restyle it, and unfortunately, this was the best wig I could find. But she really is kind of rocking that afro. A lot of people in like her tribe or whatever, they kind of look like her, but now even from a kilometer away, you see that hair coming at you and you're like, that's Eiley. You've got to have a unique look and make it yours, and she absolutely did with that beautiful wig. Next up, we got to hit the clothes, or basically lack thereof. I mean, she likes to just put on something comfortable, some cruise wear, I guess you'd call it, maybe some like semi-athletic wear for climbing the mountains and stomping on some Eldrazi tendrils, apparently. But I think she could do a little bit better. I mean, you need some color, and I think she could stand to show a little bit less skin, so I picked out this Hawaiian muumuu for her. I don't know if it's necessarily her color per se, but the color in general is really bold. It just screams, hey, I'm unique, I'm wearing what I want, and that's really what you want to go for. Next up, we've got those really outdated gloves. I don't even know what era they're from. I mean, they're not very functional. I don't know if you can even call them gloves because it really doesn't cover any of her fingers. So I picked up these sexy numbers. Oh, look at that. Look at that improvement. That beautiful pseudo cashmere goes right all the way up to the elbow and just draws the attention away from the dress and really the wig as well to make one total even package. Now, when I do a makeover, it's not just about style, it's about function. And it didn't take me long to notice that the muumuu doesn't have any pockets. Obviously, Eiley likes to travel around and, do what she does. So she's going to need some storage space, basically. Something for her tools and just her inventory, whatever she wants to carry around, really. Extra weapons, whatever. So I thought, what would go better with this look than a leopard purse? Look at that. Absolutely stunning. And that's really where I left that one. I was thinking about some heels, but I mean, look where she's walking. I don't think heels are a good idea. So definitely leaving it at that. But if you just take the whole picture and just look at it, just kind of take it all in, this was the right move for her. Now everybody, I'm sure, knows what's coming next. There is one character who just stands out day after day with the most blah fashion I've ever seen in my life. I'm of course talking about Jace Beleren, Vryn's prodigy. It honestly looks like he took a nap in a dumpster and then took some of it with him when he left in the morning. He's rocking the brown and gray earth tones in the most boring way possible, and generally just looks horrible. Now, if you remember, when he became the Telepath Unleashed, he kind of changed up his style a little bit. Let me give you a little reminder. Now, if you're going to change your style, you can't just spring that on people. I mean, you can't just have that come out of nowhere. I mean, come on. You got to work your way up to that a little bit, or people are going to think you're crazy. He's powerful, but no amount of mind control will stop people from staring at that getup if yesterday he was wearing this. It's just too drastic. I'm not saying it's not stylish, it's just too sudden. You can't jump like that. So I went back in time before he became the Telepath Unleashed and decided to help him out with a little bit of style. First of all, when I talked to Jace, he said that his favorite color was unsurprisingly blue, of course, that's what he always wears. And so I thought, well, if you want to make a statement, but not like completely hooded, caped crazy, we've got to go with the pimp robe. So I got him this beautiful, bold blue pimp robe. To avoid confusion with any sort of nightwear, like something a boxer would wear right before the match, I thought, well, we've got to go with the rest of the getup too, so that people get what he's going for. So I went to Pimps R Us and picked up a pimp cane. Just look at that beauty. Oh my gosh, sparkling in the daylight. Plus it allows him to purposely walk slower as if he had some sort of disability even though he doesn't, and let people take in the whole outfit. Then, of course, I went for the smaller pimp hat, actually, the matching blue one, but I've seen a lot of real big, like needlessly large, showy hats before, and it just didn't seem to fit him. He seemed like sort of a smaller pimp hat kind of guy. We definitely went with the neon green feather, though, because you just gotta have that accent. Next up, I knew I had to do something with that just boring, mopey-looking face. I mean, there's not much you could do short of plastic surgery or some sort of drastic makeup, so I thought, well, what's the fastest way to cover up his, forlorn, mopey, weird look? Sunglasses, of course. So we picked him up some of the premier brand of sunglasses and threw them on. Now you can see it's really starting to come together, but there's obviously one thing missing. That would be the giant $sign necklace. To take the attention away from his very uninteresting face, and really away from the sparkly cane, we thought, hey, let's go with a necklace. So, as you can see, that really worked out. It really pulls it all together. But I thought, well, he could be walking down the street like this, but then what else could I picture? Okay, so he's walking down the sidewalk, people are looking, oh, look at his new look, that's cool. What is he missing? It's so obvious. A nearly matching pimp dog, all pimped out in leopard and purple. Now, if you see that coming at you down the street, you know that just screams style. Overall, I'd say it's a pretty bold new style. I think it'll turn some heads, but it won't make people wonder what the heck happened. Then, when he decides to go all telepath crazy, and puts on this blue/turquoise getup with like some kind of weird front kilt and a full cape and the whole shebang-a-bang, nobody's really all that surprised. They just think, oh yeah, he's continuing on with that thing he was already doing fashion-wise. So I think it's a perfect middle step for him, and I think it's going to gain him a lot more respect without having to use his mental powers on the townsfolk. Unfortunately, these were the only 3 makeovers that we had time for this episode, but if you know of somebody in the Magic the Gathering world who is drastically in need of some fashion advice or a full-body makeover, definitely leave it down in the comments section and we'll be sure to hit them up. And I'll see you all next video.